All right, welcome to the Explainer. We're diving straight into an epic comic book style clash today, right here in the world of words. We're going to figure out exactly how our language gets its superpowers. Every time you read a book, belt out a song, or even just text a friend, you're actually choosing a specific linguistic weapon. So buckle up, because we're exploring the two great factions of writing, and there are literally going to be no dull moments on this ride.
Let's kick things off with a quick showdown. Listen to these two texts. I'll read text A with just a normal, natural flow. The sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky with orange and gold hues. Maria walked slowly along the shore, thinking about her future. Okay, now let's check out text B, but I'll give it a bouncy beat. Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you. So, tell me, if these texts were characters in our animated comic book, which one walks normally and which one dances to a rhythm? It's pretty obvious, right? Text A is just taking a casual stroll, while text B is practically doing backflips.
Here's our warp speed map of the universe for today's adventure. First, the world of words. Second, prose, the rule followers. Third, non-prose, the rule breakers. Fourth, the ultimate cheat sheet. And finally, number 5, our Flash Classify Challenge.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, prose, the rule followers. So, our first faction is the steady, reliable, and honestly incredibly powerful prose. This is essentially the language of our everyday natural thoughts. Notice how hyper-organized this faction is? Their superpowers include obeying strict grammar laws. They absolutely love subject-verb agreement, and they march together in perfectly organized squads called sentences, which then group up into battalions called paragraphs. But the absolutely key thing to remember here, they do not care about rhyming or having a fixed rhythm. No, they are all about the natural flow of speech.
Take the brilliant fiction branch of their family tree. You definitely know this one. Prose is the literal engine that drives creative, imagined stories. Whether it's reading that Harry Potter went to Hogwarts and discovered he was a wizard, or, exploring a modern mystery novel, prose builds these sprawling worlds using completely natural speech that makes you feel like you're just being told a really fascinating story.
But wait, the prose faction also controls nonfiction. When you need to deliver direct, fact-based, real-world info, like noting that the Philippines consists of over 7,000 islands located in Southeast Asia, well, prose is your absolute best friend. This is exactly why encyclopedias, news reports, and biographies use sentences and paragraphs. They just need to be crystal clear and highly accurate. No fluff.
Let's see how this builds into something a bit more dynamic, like drama. Yep, even dramatic stage scripts belong to the prose universe. When Romeo asks, "Wherefore art thou Romeo?" and Juliet replies, "Deny thy father and refuse thy name," they're speaking to each other while keeping that natural sentence structure alive to mimic real, authentic human conversation.
All right, moving on to section 2, non-prose, the rule breakers.
It is time to completely flip the script. Let's cross over to the rival faction, the vibrant, rhythmic, and completely rebellious non-prose heroes. Instead of standard paragraphs, they actively break the rules, stacking their words in verses and stanzas. You can literally see the magic visually on the page. Their primary weapons: rhythm, rhyme, and heavy, vivid imagery. See, while prose wants to inform you clearly, non-prose wants to hit you right in the emotions using the musicality of words. Just witness their poetry powers in action. The night is still, the stars shine bright, whispers of wind fill the silent night. Notice how that totally forces you to slow down and listen to the beat? They're painting vivid pictures with words, using structured rhythmic lines instead of standard sentences. You aren't just reading about a night, you're actually feeling the atmosphere of it. So the crucial point here is that song lyrics are basically just rhythmic poetry set to a musical beat. Think about it. Let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When you're streaming your favorite artist, you're engaging with top-tier non-prose warriors. They rely on repeating choruses and verses to keep that emotional rhythm pumping. They also deploy proverbs. These are short, punchy nuggets of wisdom that pack massive traditional weight in just a few words. Like, "A stitch in time saves 9." I mean, it doesn't really look like a normal sentence, does it? It's crafted specifically to be memorable, relying on an internal rhythm so it sticks in your brain for a lifetime. And hey, do not forget nursery rhymes. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Even these super simple, highly repetitive verses belong to this bouncy, beat-driven faction. They're designed to be sung or chanted to toddlers, which really proves that we're wired to respond to the rhythmic magic of non-prose from a very, very young age.
Let's bring it all together in Section 3, the ultimate cheat sheet.
Now, what's truly interesting is when we put these two factions side by side in the ultimate showdown. Check out this tail of the tape stat sheet. Look at structure. We've got sentences versus stanzas. Look at rhythm. None versus intentional. Here's the question for you. Why would a writer choose the facts and paragraphs of prose for a news report, but then rely on the emotional verses of non-prose for a love letter? Well, it's all about the purpose. Prose guarantees clear communication so absolutely nothing is misinterpreted. But a love letter? You want that rhythm, that rhyme, and that deep emotion to truly connect with someone's heart.
All right, get ready for Section 4, the Flash Classify Challenge.
Are you ready? It's time for the climax of our explainer. This is a rapid-fire training simulator where you have to identify the faction instantly. I'll give you a scenario, and you mentally shout out prose or non-prose. Let's go. Scenario 1. You're reading a news report about a raging typhoon tearing through the coast. Which faction does this belong to? Make your guess.
Prose, exactly right. When lives are on the line and you need urgent, accurate facts, you rely on clear sentences and paragraphs. I mean, you definitely don't want the weatherman speaking in riddles and rhymes during a storm.
Okay, scenario 2. You're in a local coffee shop, listening to a passionate spoken word poem about love and saving nature. Which universe are we in right now?
Non-prose all the way. It's totally driven by those rule-breaking verses, heavy imagery, and that deep emotional rhythm that just completely moves the audience.
Last one, scenario 3. You crack open a book and start reading a short narrative story about two best friends finding a hidden map in their attic. What are you reading? That is prose once again. The author is using natural, everyday sentences to narrate an awesome adventure, letting the story flow freely without restricting it to a rhyming beat.
Finally, Section 5, our exit ticket. Congratulations, you've survived the world of words. You officially know how to spot the structural prose and the emotional non-prose. As you log off today, I want you to try this exercise. Write one strictly factual prose sentence about the weather outside. Then tap into your artistic side and write a bouncy 2-line non-prose rhyme about your absolute favorite food. As you walk away with this awesome new linguistic superpower, ask yourself this. The next time you send a risky text or write an important email, are you just trying to deliver facts, or are you trying to control the rhythm of someone's heart? Choose your weapon wisely. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.